I told my wife we either share our lotto winnings or we separate, and I get half anyway. My wife Lisa and I have been buying lottery tickets every Friday for the past 8 years. Nothing crazy, just $5 here and there. It was like our little ritual. We'd always joke about what we'd do if we won. Lisa would say she'd cut her hours at the hospital to part-time so she could be home when the kids got out of school. I'd talk about doing the same at my job so we could actually go to Sophie's soccer games and Jake's band concerts without rushing from work. 3 weeks ago, we actually won. Not the huge jackpot or anything, but enough to completely pay off our mortgage and still have some money left over for a nice vacation. We're talking about 400 grand after taxes. The mortgage was costing us almost 3 grand a month, so getting rid of that was basically life-changing. The day we got the check, we drove straight to the bank and paid off the entire house. I remember sitting in the car afterward just staring at the paid in full receipt. Lisa was crying happy tears and kept saying we did it. We actually did it. That night we ordered pizza and told the kids their college fund just got way bigger. But then something weird happened. The next morning, Lisa starts talking about how amazing it's going to be to finally quit her job. I literally stopped pouring my coffee and just looked at her. Quit? Like completely? She got this big smile and said, "Yeah, I'm done working. I can finally just be home and relax." I reminded her that even without the mortgage, we still had bills, property taxes, car payments, groceries, the kids' activities. We'd always planned to both cut back to part-time, not have one person quit entirely. That's when she said something that made my blood run cold. It's my ticket, so I get to decide what happens with the money. I just stared at her. We'd been buying one ticket together for years because buying two seemed like a waste. But now suddenly it was her ticket? I tried to stay calm. "Lisa, we've always bought these together. This is our money." She crossed her arms and said, "Nope, I bought this one with my debit card, so technically it's mine. If you wanted to say, you should have bought your own ticket." I asked if she was seriously going to quit and leave me to pay all the bills on just my salary. She got defensive and started yelling about how she'd worked her whole life and deserved a break, that I was being selfish and trying to control her. I suggested maybe she could take some unpaid leave here and there, use the extra money for that, but keep her job. When I mentioned that if I cut back to part-time too, we'd be screwed financially, she completely lost it. Started screaming that I was a gold digger trying to steal her money, that I probably only married her for situations like this. I've never seen her act like this before. It was like talking to a completely different person. For the next few days, I kept trying to have calm conversations about it, but she wouldn't budge. She kept saying the money was hers and I needed to accept it. Then yesterday morning, she announced she was putting in her 2 weeks notice at work. That's when I snapped. I told her if she wasn't going to share the winnings, I'd file for divorce and get half anyway since we bought the house together and the leftover money was used to pay our joint mortgage. Legally, I'd be entitled to half of everything. Lisa started screaming again, calling me a gold digger and saying I was ruining everything for her, that she'd worked so hard and deserved this. I reminded her that I'd worked hard too, that we were supposed to be a team. We got into this massive fight where she threw a coffee mug at the wall. The kids heard everything and Sophie started crying. That's when I realized how badly this had all fallen apart. Our marriage counselor neighbor actually knocked on our door because she could hear the screaming from across the street. Now Lisa won't even look at me. She's been sleeping in the guest room, and yesterday she actually went to HR at her hospital and put in her notice like she's calling my bluff. But here's the thing, I'm not bluffing. If she's really going to quit her job and leave me struggling to pay all our bills while she sits on hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'll absolutely file for divorce.